Hey everyone, my name is Harknee. I'm a techno and house music DJ and producer, and today I'm going to be looking at Felusive Nettle, a brand new type of synthesizer that I've never seen before. Let's go. So what is Felusive Nettle? Well, let me read you what their website says, as it probably gives a better description than anything I could ever do. Nettle is a software instrument that explores the unique and relatively unexplored world of scanned synthesis. The timbre of the sounds you create constantly evolve, as the waveform is produced by tracing or scanning the position of masses that are always in motion. These masses are excited by you pressing a key on your MIDI keyboard. This stimulates the action of a hammer striking the connection of masses. Through the user's manipulation of the masses, the springs that connect them and the hammer that excites them, a wide range of dynamic and almost sentient sounds are possible. To me, that sounds like they've taken the idea of a hammer striking something quite percussive, and then the waves that are generated through the hammer on the masses that it's hitting, those are being scanned and being turned into waveforms, which we can then manipulate inside the synthesizer. I think I'm understanding that correctly, but if someone has a better explanation, then please leave a comment down below. So here we are then, we have Nettle by Felusive. First up we have the model, which I think is modeling, basically we have the modulation for the scanning or the tracing, where we can change the size of the mass that is being hit, the flexibility, centering, dampening, refresh rate, which I assume is linked to the feedback. And we got a attack on the feedback as well, which is quite interesting. We got the change the shape of the hammer, which just from moving this, you can see it moves this little icon. So it seems like we've got some idea of something like a triangle wave, moving into sawtooth, moving into almost like noise, and slowly into a sine wave, and then the strength at which the hammer is hitting the masses. Underneath this we have a low pass and a high pass filter with some resonance and some stereo options as well. Below that we have the built-in reverb. From what I can gather from this synth and what I've been playing around with it just to get it working, is it's very good for ambient sound, so it's quite interesting to have its own reverb built into it, which I'm sure whenever we turn the wet all the way up will give us some really nice ethereal sort of sounds. Over here we have the amp envelope, attack, decay, sustain and release, volume, simple stuff. Then we have 4 LFOs, which we can change the shape of. We've got rate, we can change the phase of it, as well as the gain as well. Not quite sure why you'd have a gain on an LFO. Considering we have the amount knob over here, I'm not sure how that differs. And then we got the targeting of the LFO over here. And as well as that, we have 4 modulation envelopes as well that can be attached to any of the following. Also, we have some even more modulation where we can modulate basically any of these with the velocity, the key track, or the mod wheel, which is quite interesting as well, giving us some more MIDI control built into the synthesizer. So anyway, how does it sound with the init preset then? At the moment, nothing too spectacular, but let's add in some modeling. Let's maybe increase the mass size a little bit of flexibility. Let's turn all the way up, and let's leave the dampening like this. See how we go. Now it sounds pretty interesting. It's basically taking you from one waveform right into another and then back again without having to do anything. If we add some release to this, bit of attack, lots of decay. Now let's change the hammer shape as well. Let's sort of go half in between a sawtooth and a triangle. We'll add a bit of strength to it. See how we go. Lots of modulation going on there. That sounds really cool. Let's play a chord with that. That's really interesting. There's loads of modulation going on there without applying any modulation, which is really quite cool. If we add some reverb onto that, I think this would sound really quite nice. Let's leave that. Less dampening. Really, really nice, really cool. Let's add some feedback. Let's a bit less centering, more dampening, more mass. Let's go with a higher refresh rate as well. That sounded completely different. I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure how, but really interesting to hear. For people who produce any sort of ambient or drone music, this seems like right up your street. Now let's continue to mess around with this. What I'll do is just add a chord trigger just to help me. I don't have any music theory training, so I'm not particularly good with the keyboard. So this just helps me come up with ideas, really. Really, really nice. Let's change this. Let's get a sine with this. Less dampening. Lots of this. Let's go full reverb. See how that sounds. Yeah, we're going to keep that like that. Let's add some of that as well. Let's add a bit of a filter too. And go over there. Give it some resonance as well. How does it sound? Now, I wasn't expecting that. I have got the attack very high. Let's just reduce this actually. That's interesting. Okay. Increase some dampening, some centering, mass size, strength. Oh, that's because we got it on high pass rather than low pass. That makes sense. Let's try this again. Now, I don't have Valhalla Shimmer, but I can imagine this would be a perfect combination with that. If you put this in or sample this in a granular synth, this would sound awesome. Let's go back to the sine like I tried to try before. Again, there's no modulation going on right now. These LFOs are not set to anything. But let's try that then. Let's go to centering. Let's increase the LFO. Oh, it's okay. You can see the rate at which the LFO is being triggered. We could set it to free. Set it to free. Why not? Let's go that. Bit of phase. Second one, let's go with mass size. Let's go with, again, free. Let's go with a very fast LFO rate. See if we get some interesting out of that. Let's just leave that how it is. Let's just try that then. Okay, let's reduce this, a bit less of that. This has some pre-delay as well. And we'll just keep it with a sine wave. See how we go. Sounds pretty interesting. Let's take this right down, just on the filter. Let's really boost the resonance. Maybe we'll go for, let's go with this. That sounds really cool. Okay, let's use one of the modulation envelopes. Maybe we'll go with a cutoff filter on the first one. So that will open up. Let's start this around here. Some release as well. See how this sounds. There we go. That's cool. Let's boost the resonance a bit even more. That sounds pretty cool. Let's take another one. Let's put it on. What have we got? So we've got mass size, centering. Let's put this on dampening then. Bit of release as well. How does this sound? Nice. Let's just change these around just so we get a different starting sound. We'll try another note. Again, really interesting. There's some sort of LFO going on with the filter, but I don't know where it's coming from. I think it might be coming from the dampening. If we increase the dampening. Yeah, it is. The dampening seems to be sort of moving the filter, not obviously moving the filter in the literal sense, but it's doing something to that to give it the effect of sort of an LFO moving a filter up and down very quickly. Now, what I'd like to do is add my good friend Supermassive, just to see if we can get the proper big pad sound that I think this synthesizer would be good for. Okay, lots of warp. I like to go with, nope, where is it? Centurus. Let's try this. Yeah, there you go. If we go 100%, increase the feedback, take this down. And now, no, let's keep those. Yeah, I'll go with this. Anyway, lots of very cool sounds there. Now I want to try something else on here. Let's. What I had in mind was, where are we? Melder. Let's try some frequency shifting. See if we can get some interesting tones out of this. Let's just change some of this. Why not? It's got a centering, shape. And now if you're going to shift it down and see if we get the sort of metallic sort of effect you get whenever you pitch shift things. Yeah, you kind of do it. This was sort of a nice, pleasant pad. Had some pitch shifting, or some frequency shifting, sorry. Yeah, that sounds pretty mean. That sounds really cool, actually. Shifting works. What else could we try on here? Actually, if we try some phasing or chorus, I'm not quite sure what this does. Acorn Digital Multiply, but it really thickens up a sound. Wow. Yeah, that's really nice. Now you're getting into some sort of real space sound effects. That sounds awesome. Okay, now we've got a basic understanding of it. Let's see how the professionals do it. Let's have a look at some of the presets. Let's go with Dying Star, see what it's got. Sounds pretty nice and pleasant. What else has it got? Another pad. Again, more of that modulation going on, which is nice. Sounds pretty nice. Now let's look at Toadstool. Oh, wow. That sounds really cool. Lunateer? Tear? Let's turn this off. Nice. And lastly, let's go with Barbed Wire. Ah, cool. It's good to see that it's got more than just sort of the nice pad sounds. It can do something a bit more gritty as well. Let's go with sprites. Yeah, again, that's a bit more sort of interesting than just the pads. That's nice. Last one, sorry, Vortex. That's pretty cool. I like this. So then, what do I like about the synth? Well, it's very unique. The whole idea of the scanned synthesis, which means that any notes that you play will eventually modulate and form into something else. I think that's really cool. And as someone who is quite interested in weird, different sound design and synthesis techniques, this is right up my street. Now, I don't particularly specialize in ambient or drone music or anything that involves super heavy pads, but as someone who's into techno and enjoys sort of different textures in my music, this seems like something I can definitely get on board with. It won't be in everything I use, but as sort of an electronic techno producer, this is definitely something that I can put in that could really spice up a track and give me something a lot different to anything that I can do, simply because of its very unique and, as it says, unexplored form of synthesis in scan synthesis. Yeah, the model over here, I don't fully understand what all of these do yet, but with a bit of investigating, I can get my hang of this and start to create some really unique sounds. The hammer seems to be sort of the waveform that it produces, which then can help give you some guidance as to the sort of tones and timbres it's going to produce. The filter sounds pretty standard. The reverb as well is pretty standard. I think it sounds better with some really cool, supermassive delay or supermassive reverb or something like Valhalla Shimmer, which I may or may not invest in the future. But if you do have Shimmer and you want to get this and you want to try something new with Shimmer, then I think this would definitely really work. Or if you have some sort of granular delay or something, then I think chucking this on would really work. Once I've fully understood how the model works, the LFOs and the modulation envelopes I think will really work nicely in giving you even more modulation over the sound overall. Is there anything I don't like about it? I'm not too sure. The filter seems pretty basic. Would be nice if there was a couple of different filter mode or some extra filter modes that I could have. You know, having the filters with 6 dB per octave or 24 dB per octave, etc., that sort of thing, just so you've got a bit more control over the sound. And the reverb as well, it'd be nice to have a little bit more sort of control over how that would sound. But I guess this is more about the modeling of the scanning of the masses and the hammers rather than nice effects, nice reverbs and stuff. And especially as considering this is free as well, and the amount of plugins I can get, Valhalla Supermassive just being one of them that I can get that can improve this synth. I guess having a not super extensive reverb section, I guess, is not the end of the world. Yeah, the LFOs do what LFOs do, great. Amplitude envelope, yeah, fine. I'm not one for sort of MIDI controls too much. I tend to do more of my modulation with LFOs and stuff, but it's nice that it has it down here, and I'm sure people who use MIDI more than I do will get some good use out of it. Would I recommend it? 100%. If you're looking for something different, looking for something that you can do pads with, this is definitely what you want to be investigating if you're looking for something new. Oh, and by the way, did I mention it's free? Head down into the link below where the KVR link will be there to download it. Anyway, I think that just about wraps up this video. A new kind of video that I've never done before, so if you liked the format, if you like my presentation, then leave a comment below telling me what you liked, or maybe if you think I could improve this thing or that thing, let me know as well. Also, subscribe to the channel because I'll be doing more sort of music production videos like this, as well as my track walkthroughs that I'd really like to do as well. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!